Now, I'm going to talk about some other things, and I'm going to bring Mark in here to do part of this. We're going to go into boot camp number 2, and this has 3 parts: registering different accounts, KYCing the different accounts, and getting started properly. Whenever you're going to register accounts, I think it's key and paramount to watch what your dual system placement settings are first. There's some people that don't want people to just go register. They want to register themselves. So if the panel wants to make a comment about that, by all means. And everybody that registers, we need to make sure they read their terms and conditions. Many times they just check the box and that's it. And therefore, or somebody signs up somebody for somebody else and they never read the terms and conditions at all. And so if you're interested in creating momentum, you need to implement a strategy that is going to set them up properly for when they first start sponsoring their people. Any comments from the panel?
The only thing I'd like to say is I think it's important that after you get a yes, and, after all, what's there to say no to? You need to assume people are going to say yes. And when presented properly, most people do. Then at that point, we need to identify what their need. Why do you want to do this? What do you want to do? Do you want to just use the software to exchange bad money into good money and keep it in storage? Or do you want to use the software to do the same thing and take delivery, or a combination? Or do you want to be like me and be an affiliate and make money referring others and build a network? What do you want to do? It's important that you let people talk so they can tell you what they want to accomplish, because I have made the mistake a few times trying to shove a square peg in a round hole, talking to a senior citizen that didn't want to be an affiliate. They don't want to refer people. They just want to use the software to protect the money they already have. So I think it's important, before you automatically assume someone is going to want to be like you, do what you want to do, make what you want to make, and have the same dreams and goals you have. They may not, and you certainly don't want to lose them or offend them. So it's important that you ask good questions to find out how they see themselves fitting in, I think are the words you use, Boomer, when talking to someone after they've said yes.
Can I add something too in there? I think it's
Absolutely.
vitally important for the leadership in Carrot Bars that are registering people to know and take the time to educate the newest person that is interested in learning how to become a leader. Teach them step by step how to register someone properly, how to make sure that they go through every step. I really like to take some extra time. It takes me extra time. But every person that I personally put in, I take the time to teach them properly how to do and register people in the system properly so it can be duplicated properly. If we have things that, the wheels fall out from under the cart, it just creates a bigger, longer period of time to fix the problems. Take the time up front to educate people step by step how to do it the right way the first time, because they will duplicate 100% of what you do wrong for some crazy reason. I guess that's our old sin nature or whatever. But they will only duplicate 50% of what you do 100% right. So teach them right. Give them the best chance to learn how to do things step by step. And don't let the tail wag the dog. I don't let new people that don't know anything start registering people willy-nilly. We have to teach them how to do it the right way and tell them, I will take the time. We will go do a webinar when we're registering someone where you can learn how to do this properly until you feel comfortable and you have your questions answered. And every single person is different. Sometimes it takes one time. They're very computer literate. Other people need to see it 3 or 4 times. Some people are not going to learn how to do it. So we have to help them because they just aren't computer literate. Every single person is different, and we need to handle each of them differently.
I agree. I agree with that 100%. And, sometimes we can utilize the spiritual talents and gifts that are given to certain personality styles on our team to help in that department and add value they feel worth. They may not be a good person who is a good prospector or a presenter, but they have talents in being patient with people and helping them. They work good. They're the peacemakers in the crowd who find value in taking their gifts and being of aid to also help walk people through their websites, teach them some other stuff too. So you may utilize and develop different people on your team. I'm not saying you will, but you may. And utilize those strengths as your business goes ballistic. And Joe says we can rarely control results, but can always control our activity. That's exactly correct. And Jessica Peterson says some will, some won't. Someone is waiting. That's exactly right. Now, somebody made a comment in here. The difference between auto exchange and auto save. Auto exchange is the voluntary set it and forget it auto purchase program. Not mandatory, it's voluntary, where you can set a certain amount each month or each week to register and purchase on a card within the system, okay, credit card. The auto save feature is a fail safe by the company to promote long-term stability for those people who have not bought any gold but made commissions. It will automatically pay them in both cash and it will pay them in gold money, or gold, up to 4 grams a month if they make over 4,000 euros a month. Now, I want to bring Mark on here because I want him, Mark Mouchet, we met when he was evaluating and as a chief operations officer for another company, and was tasked with the chore of how do we take this Carrot Bars business with 2 comp plans and several entities and put it into a logical format for a traditional company. And so, Mark doesn't make any assumptions. The first thing he did was fly to Germany to go see whether the company was real, even after it had been looked at by a legal team. And Mark is, if you've ever met him, he's the most easy to work with, competent, well-versed genius I have personally had the pleasure to know and call a friend. And so he went right, Harold has him right in his, attached with a tether to him, because Mark has given without asking for any money, has given his talents to the benefit and the promotion and development of our entire Carrot Bar system. And so Mark is in Taiwan right now, and I want him to talk about registering personal accounts and business and company accounts. Thanks, Mark.
Oh, thanks, Dan. I'm not quite sure how I follow that, though. I appreciate those kind words. Thank you. There's this is one of those German to English kinds of adventures, I think, because when somebody's an affiliate, technically they're in business. So now we have a personal account and what we think of as a business account. But what Germany intends when they say company is actually a company, not just somebody in business. And so this has caused a lot of confusion over the last few months, and a lot of gnashing of teeth and those types of things. So when someone says, are you going to open a personal account, that personal account is a Mr., a Mrs., a Ms., a Miss, and I need to come back. Lloyd, remind me to come back. Oh, Lloyd, are you there? I'll be back to this thing here in a moment. It's also what's called a sole proprietorship, because a sole proprietorship is just in a a hot dog stand or a lemonade cart or a restaurant or a multi-million dollar company that you're running as, or you have no partners, you have no legal structure forward. Being account. And so somebody has a doing business as Frank's Hot Dogs, and Derek says I'm breaking up. I don't mean to break up with you, Derek. Maybe if I talk slower, it will come through clearer. So, doing business as Frank's Hot Dogs by a guy by the name of Frank or Sally or whoever is a sole proprietorship typically. A company account is something that is actually a registered business in good standing. This is an important thing because Carrot Bars actually checks these things now because of the last few months of activity. And so this is typically an LLC, an LLP, a registered partnership. It could be, if you're in Canada, it might be a limited or a private limited company. It could be an unlimited company. Just many different types of registered business forms, depending on which country you're in. So that's what they intend by the term company account. And so when you're loading these documents, we've been teaching people, load your ID and load a current address. And the IDs need to be in color. We're still getting many people load black and white things just because they go to the photocopier at the office and they photocopy their stuff and then they load it. And that doesn't really work. So borrow a phone, use your phone, do something, take a snapshot. It needs to be clear and readable of your valid ID, and that's a driver's license. If you're in let's just talk in the U.S., it's ID card, it's government issued ID, the thing that you would need to use to get on an airplane type of stuff. The proof of address needs to be something from a utility company, from a bank, from a credit card company, or from a government agency that's identifiable. So that needs to be a valid document for the personal account. For the company accounts, we need something that shows that the business has been registered with whatever state you're doing business out of. It needs to show that you are actually a control person for that business, meaning that you have the ability to contract on behalf of the business. And then it's nice to have an EIN number and a current address because that just makes sure that things actually go to where they're supposed to be. Now in the future there'll be a few more types of accounts that get added that will make your life a lot easier. But we can't talk about too much of that right now. But that's on the immediate horizon. Any questions, Dan?
Nope, I think that's pretty good. Is there any questions from anybody here in this room? You can type them in if you'd like, or you can unmute your line by pressing *6, I think, on your phone, and you can ask a question.
I might also point out that the company's intent is that if you're going to register a company as, say, a second account, is that you are the sponsor of that company, not that somebody else sponsors that. So just kind of be aware that that's the intent when the company says, oh, you want multiple accounts? Sure, you can have one personal account and any number of business accounts that are valid companies. Stephanie, yes. The company has to be in good standing, and you have to be a control person.
Okay. Mark, can you elaborate? We already talked about what is a valid company in there, but what is a valid ID? In other countries, are voter registration cards that are ID'd and by the government, they have the date of birth on the back. So does the valid ID, if they use that particular card, does it have to show the front and then another copy on the back?
Yeah, if the ID that you have has more information on the back side of it, then you need to upload both sides of the ID. For example, in the country of Brunei, they have the name, they have the birth date on the front of the card, and then on the back of it they have the address, and not that we only accept that address, but it just happens to be there. But they have the address and the expiration on the back of the card. So in Brunei, we need both sides of the card.
Okay. A question comes
John,
here from John. He says, control person meaning of a company, the major shareholder or director?
If you are a director of a company, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're somebody that is authorized on a daily basis to contract on behalf of the company. For example, if I was the director of IBM, they're not necessarily in my role as that director able to contract IBM with its different vendors, because that's just not my role as a director. So if a control person is typically someone who is a majority shareholder or a partner in a general partnership, or someone who is an officer of the company that is authorized to contract on behalf of the company. And if it's incorporation, sometimes it requires a board action to say that John is authorized on behalf of ABC Company to contract with Carrot Bars on our behalf. Sometimes, depending on the size of the company, those types of things are necessary.
Okay. It would be helpful if we had some examples that we could put together to show what's good, what's not good. I think that would be good in the future here. And I'm sure that you probably can black out certain information on it, but kind of see what is and what isn't, right? The better we define it, the better, the easier it would be.
I'll work with you on the side to do something.
Okay. What about people that live in rural areas and looking for a valid proof of address, Mark? What is your suggestions for them?
I'm sorry, what was that, Dan?
A valid POA, proof of address. What about people that live in rural areas that have regular PO boxes? What is your suggestion to them to get a valid, acceptable POA for the KYC?
They're typically going to have something that lists their physical address, whether it's a utility statement that says the service is delivered to a physical place, and the car registration, for example, may have the car is garaged at XYZ Street. So they typically will have something that has a physical street address. It's the whole point in this is that FedEx needs to find your house, and they don't deliver to the post office. And in the absolute worst case scenario, maybe you rent a mailboxes, etc., or a postal annex or a UPS store box and use their street address because that's what they do. So, that's the absolute worst case.
Great. And according, we're going to go over the next boot camp later on the basics of getting money to Corp, getting money from Corp, communication to and from Corp, and deliveries, your holdings, so that you're proficient to be able to help somebody without them sending in a support ticket for the most basic stuff. We're also going to give you a list in the next boot camp of the most common questions that are sent to support and haven't been identified because they haven't connected with a senior partner or director. It's obvious. Or the affiliate that sponsored them did not know what to do and where to point to get the information. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about getting somebody set up properly, and this is where the panel is going to be very important. As Joe pointed out, and Derek also, and myself, when you get somebody set up properly, take the time to get them and know what they want to accomplish and find out what they're willing to do. As Joe says, that you want to go faster, you want to go slower, you want to make a little or a lot. Fastest and a lot is a VIP, a gram a week, and do 100 units of work in 30 days. Slower is anything else, and that is okay. Our goal is to help you be happy with what you're willing to do. But when you go in and set these people up, you must understand what you want to accomplish that and set your placement. Make sure you watch and set your placement first. You want to register them. I say I've adopted this. Help them set their beneficiary in edit profile. Once they're registered in the profile, they have in edit profile has a tab that says beneficiary. Click it and you'll add the beneficiary to the account. Then get your package, and you're going to need to upload your KYCs and get them approved before you're going to do anything else. Once you get your package, show them, take them and physically walk, putting their bonus codes from their digital bonus codes that they find on their website underneath the tab My Gold, and move them to submit bonus codes at the bottom of product purchase. It's all the way at the bottom, and upload those. Be careful how you copy those codes, because if you overlap them, you'll bring in other blank spaces, which will make it look like it's invalid. And then promote and help them get set up at an auto exchange of gold. Even if they want to do a gram a week, if they want to set it for a gram a week, great. But if they want to buy a 5 gram bar, get them also set up on 1 gram at least a month on the auto exchange program. We can't set, it's always bought in grams, only it's in the amount of purchase in euros, not in 1 carat bar, 2 carat bars, etc. And then help them get their MasterCard ordered as long as they have ordered a silver package or above. Bronze package, it doesn't even show up. Help them get their e-wallet set up. We're going to go over some other stuff in the next boot camp on this part. And then connect them with the team training. As Joe put it, you got to feed the seed. You got to get them into the realm of, as Derek also says, continuing education. And please avoid the doom and gloom. We want to help people do this, but I have watched entire spheres of teams go into static mode, and they become confused and they become fearful, which causes inactivity. The best part about we have is if following this, you don't even have to worry about that. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and you can protect yourself with gold, and therefore it's another thing that you don't have to put into your brain. Know what your follow-up emails are, because as Joe said, you got to be ready for a yes. You got to prepare them. We're expecting a yes. Expect a yes. So know what you're going to send them as a follow-up email. And I would like the panel to send us a copy of their follow-up emails that they start with, and then know what their first 30 days in the business are going to be like. When you prepare the mind for what it's going to receive, the mind tends to do more. Okay. And then I also think it's important, have them learn and get in the habit of learning one new thing about their back office every day for 30 days. In 30 days, they're going to be extremely knowledgeable. And can you imagine what your whole team will be like if you duplicate just that? Not learn 50 things, one new thing in your back office every day for 30 days, even if it's for 10 minutes. Go look. And more importantly, above all, connect, connect, connect to your senior partners and directors. If you don't know who they are, the very first thing you need to do is give them that information on how to reach them and connect them and introduce them to the senior partner. Exchange their name, their username, their email, their phone. If they have a Skype, I do 95% of my stuff by Skype, guys. I don't do it by email, and I don't do it by any other means. I don't do a lot by Facebook. I do it by Skype because I work in a lot of different time zones, and it's easy for me to leave messages, get back responses, plug people into the information train. And we have Skype rooms set up. Getting them plugged into some Skype rooms when they want to be in there. Don't just drop them in there, and send them the rules to the room. I send everybody the rules to the room. You have to agree to it before I'm going to drop you in there. And that way they know this is not some fishing pond for some other deal or whatever you got going. It doesn't matter what they do with carrot bars. Okay. The information chain is there for them to leave messages and get some answers while you're not there. You will find a myriad of truth and belief of how effective that is. Is that correct, Derek, Joe, and Mark?
Yes.
Yes.
You don't want to be the one person that answers all the questions all the time, do you?
Not preferably, no.
Not preferably, right? Yeah. Okay. And so I'm going to drop a couple of PDFs in there. Main thing is the brand new person that's never been really involved in networking, and they may have a sphere of influence. People have people that are contacts, and then they have people in their list that are spheres of influence. It might be a financial planner that has, 1,000 clients. It could be the person who's the president of the Rotary Club. It could be a number of different things, but each person in their phone has more than enough contacts that somewhere in there they have what's called a chicken list. And they probably are not going to engage any of that until they are comfortable and have shown some signs of success. That is the trap. The goal of a good leader is to be able to help people get into the list that they won't engage themselves until they are confident and experienced. And so that's the trap. And those are the people that you want in your business. They're not the last people you want in your business. They're the first people you want in your business. Okay. And so understanding the process, and here comes the key. However you engage these people in your business is what they have programmed their brain in order to duplicate it. You bring them in one way and teach them how to do something a different way. It may not work the same. The brain has a pattern of how it's introduced to new behaviors or learning experiences. And so remember, lots of things work, not everything duplicates. And if the brand new person, this business is reduced to the brand new person, little old Sally, who's a homemaker, who is trying to protect her and her family and trying to juggle all the different things that working mothers do, you got to help her get out of the way of her own success. She might be the best dynamo you want on your team, but we just need to help new people get out of the way of their own success by following a pattern. Sizzle call or sizzle video. Okay. Send the interested parties to which means you're sifting. Send them to the replicated information sites and then connect them to a senior partner or director to get their questions answered. Redirect. And that way they don't have to know anything but the process, the funnel, and just some basics on redirection. Okay. Is there anybody that wants to comment on that?
I just want to say one thing about three-way calls and how powerful they are. For those of you that have had some success in the industry can tell you, it is so important that you get out of the way, because the people closest to you and love you the most will listen to you the least. Just ask your wife if you don't believe me.
That's powerful.
But here's the thing, guys. You just need to get busy doing the right things, talking to the right people, using the right tools. You can't fail. And when you get them on the phone with Boomer, Derek, myself, Lloyd, or any of the senior partners, we expect to close everybody we talk to. And in fact, we do, unless they're either not paying attention or just are distracted, or they just don't have enough financial IQ to understand what we're talking about. And I usually tell people that up front. It's called closing before you present. It's a tremendous tool. Psychologically set the stage. I want to show you something, and I just want you to know before I show it to you that most people I show this to, they get involved at some level. In fact, the only time they don't is if they're not paying attention or distracted. I hope you're paying attention today and not distracted, or they just don't have a high enough financial IQ to understand what we're talking about. And I'm sure you have a high enough financial IQ. So if you're ready to get started, here's the information. And that just, kind of psychologically planted a seed in his brain that, man, I better pay attention. I don't want Joe or Boomer or Derek to think I'm stupid, because this is important information. So I think it's important for each and every one of you to find a way, find a plan. If you don't have a plan, we can tell you, we started from scratch with nothing. We've made every mistake there is to make. We've built our business totally the wrong way. And believe me, we've made every mistake. And even as a result of making all those mistakes, we made adjustments along the way. We're not what we're going to be. We're probably not what we should be. But thank God we're not what we used to be. Right?
Yes. And understand the leadership in the company, from the CEO visionary down. He's a show me guy. I don't want to hear what you're going to do. Show me what you do. Yeah, you're exactly right, Joe. Look, I'm going to put this up. This will be a recording. It'll be available. And is there any questions from anybody there? Anybody here in the press *6? You can unmute your line.
Dan, there's a number of questions in the box.
Okay. Place to get is set up properly checklist. Yes, I'll make it a PDF and I'll put it in here for you to download. You can also take a screenshot of this. The corporate said this is a good, this may go up actually in your download section of latest news. I don't know. Many people, when they send in emails, they don't get they don't get responded to, and half the emails I know I send out never even make it to the people I'm trying to get. So if you can imagine on an international server, especially with live AOL, Hotmail, and Yahoo, have a difficult time getting stuff. So entering these into your emails is important. And Mark, here's a question for Mark: can you have more than one business account?
If you are a control person on more than one company and the company is in good standing, yes, that company, because it is a separate legal entity, may have an affiliate account. So that, yes, that is possible. But you can't have multiple personal accounts. And you can't, well, I guess technically you could, but I mean, the company's intention is that you sponsor these accounts yourself.
Okay, let's see if there's any other questions in here. What about getting a notarized affidavit of address?
That doesn't work in any country.
It doesn't work in every country or any country?
Any.
Okay.
Aldo, if you register the business and it's not a sole proprietorship, yes, it can be in business and do just Karatbars. Or sell hot dogs or tacos.
Come on, guys, here's your chance to ask questions. If
into
you
the US.
have any questions, now's the time to ask them.
Anybody?
Going once, going twice.
There's 2 links you can sift down there to get these PDFs, and they're just one way to help you. You're general, but they give somebody a kind of a as a director, even a new person, to understand some basics about what you're doing. Now, is there no more questions? Is that it? 3-way list. Very good, Carol Dominguez. I'll tell you what, guys on the panel here, let's put together a 3-way director list. This is what I want from each one of you. If you're a director, understand, or moving into director, you got to move up. If you're not a VIP, work to become a VIP. By the time you hit director, if you're not a VIP, you probably missed something. If you're not on auto exchange, you missed the basis of the program. We save money first, not last. And we set the example for other people to follow. Everybody here on that panel agree?
Absolutely. We get paid to save.
Yes, sir.
We get paid to save. Right. Okay. And so some of you in the boot camp room have not responded to me. I need your name, your Karatbars username, etc., so I can put you in the list here for directors to come. The next boot camp, we're going to talk about 3-way calls, the basics of getting money to Corp, money from Corp, communication to and from Corp, your gold holdings, and telling where your deliveries are, etc., and then some other dynamics. And so the directors here, if you have startup emails, the first getting started emails or follow-up emails, I would appreciate. Some of you are absolutely brilliant in what you have and said, and a different perspective comes from seeing different things. So this will be made available to you, and you guys, you're the lifeblood of the company. We appreciate you genuinely with all of our heart. And without you, none of us are where we want to be, in helping people get to be directors, and then helping those directors to help other directors in their own teams produce duplication long-term and steady message that will spread this message of prosperity to millions of people around the globe. And so, is there any closing comments either the panel wants to make?
Last thing I'd just like to say is, guys, finally we have an opportunity here with a company that has enough financial strength and stability that they don't have to nickel and dime people like all those other companies out there with enrollment fees, website fees, annual renewal fees, and auto ships. There's none of that here unless you want to. Everything's free, everything's optional, and what's there to say no to? If you guys can't get excited about that, your wood's wet. Guys, get excited, get on the phone, get the tools, put them into motion. You'll see results. Get that chart of 100, get it out now, fill it out, and in 30 days, you won't be sorry. Back to you, Booms.
Thanks very much. Next boot camp is next Wednesday, July 1. Same time right here. Will that work for the rest of the panel?
As far as I know.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your time and attention. And we're going to get better at doing this. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to bring a lot more directors and groups into the duplication process. We don't have to reinvent anything. The proof is already out there for us. And as I said, and Joe and Derek and Mark and the rest of you know, I never change anything fast without seeing that it has results, and results take time to be measured. So remember, try not to be the idea of the day. It only stops and confuses the people in your group. And when that happens, they end up doing nothing. They stop because I don't want to put, I want to wait till the chef is finished with his recipe before I come back to the table. Is that a fair assumption, guys?
Absolutely.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Donald says, is there any reason not to sign somebody up as affiliate versus customer, regardless of what they want out of Carrot Bars? Panel?
Could you spell that for me? I didn't quite catch it.
Okay. It was said here, is there any reason not to sign up? Let me go back here. Is there any reason not to sign up someone as an affiliate versus a customer, regardless of what they want out of Carrot Bars? Well, first thing I'm going to say is that the customer account website looks different. If you haven't seen a customer website, and that person only wants to be a customer, and they don't want you to build value through them, they're not interested in that. They only want to use it. I think you may do a disservice to that person, as Joe put it, to make them become an affiliate. There's a lot of other tabs on there. If you haven't sponsored a customer account, here's what I suggest. Go make a dummy customer account. Yeah, you can do that. Go to your personal referral link, click on customer, and register customer test. And customer is the first name. Test account is the last name. 123 Easy Street. Just go. You're not going to KYC it. You're just going to see what they would see as a customer. And then putting the people in the program based on what they want and what they're willing to do, as Joe put it first, I think is paramount. So I can see why you want to help people and build value in them as an affiliate. If they're willing to go with that, great. But if they're not, their customer account is still placed in the dual team. They just can't see it. They don't see all the other stuff. And they can change at any time. And so some people will want you to say, instead of a customer, I'll take the affiliate side and I'll throw a bronze package on that because I'll get a 3% discount card, and I can at least, I know you're going to go to work and do some stuff because I know you're going to go do it. And whether I do it or not, it doesn't make any difference. It's like putting a building on a piece of property. What happens to the value of a piece of property if you put a building or structure on it? It goes up in value. It stays with the account. But if somebody is adamant, look, I only want to be a customer. I don't want to see all the other stuff. Then my suggestion to you, and I'm free to have anybody else on the panel, is let them be happy with where they're at. Anybody else want to comment on that?
I think it's important to explain to each person the benefits of an affiliateship and having their net in the water to be able to catch future volume and to have a discount on their account. But everybody has their freedom of choice to do whatever they want. So if you do your due diligence in helping them understand the difference between a customer account and an affiliate account, and help them realize there is no requirements on either one for them to perform or have any pressure or expectations put on them, they can do it at whatever level, then they have the ability to make a decision. They're a big boy, big girl. They can make a big boy, big girl decision for themselves on how they want to do it. But I think it's vitally important to make sure they understand the benefits that they get as an affiliate, so they can never tell you that they didn't know what their options were. Give them the full picture and then let them decide.
Love that, Derek. And part of that, I would say also go to carrotgroupteam.com, click on the tab that says educate, and then underneath it, it says Boomer and Friends, a Sunday night call 2 weeks ago with Joe Fragnoli. He's a CPA. He's well decorated. Let me put it that way. Shows people the benefit of at least, no matter what they do, getting a bronze package, regardless of their perception of doing work or whatever, and shows them the benefits. And I highly recommend that you go listen to that audio file. And that is a great way to help explain the benefits where you don't have to, coming from a trusted licensed professional. Now, Mark, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No problem. I just want to point out that my oldest customer, now she started as a customer, is 93. And she started buying gold for herself and started showing it to her friends when she, went out for a roll through the park. And then her friends started asking her how they get these really neat gold cards that, say carrot bars on it and all the other stuff. So she was all excited to tell me about this. And so she doesn't use a computer, so I helped her granddaughter set up the account for a bronze package. And now every time one of her friends asks, hey, where did I get one of these things? We just sign them up under the former customer, new bronze affiliate.
Great. And Derek, I know that your team is riddled full of color, not blue. So I would love it if you would give an audio file briefly about what you do as you promote the value of having if you want to just use the account, of you building value in their account in the benefits of that. Would you do that for us?
Yes, I will.
Now, Derek, how many people have you personally sponsored?
I have 108 personally registered people that I've led to.
And I'm going to tell you right now, he's got a moving and shaking team that a lot of leaders are coming out of. So thanks very much for your time and attention, guys.